basis, I'm leaving it flat. Rap out the record, we put in that painting. Don't talk about luck, but the ways and training. Slide on the floor, got pivot and pop. I'm built for the trenches, I never will stop. Keep swinging, keep drilling. The ways of practice, yeah. Yeah. The ways of
What's up? What's up? What is up, everybody? How is everyone doing today? I guess we had a little bit of technical difficulties starting the show, but it looks like we're good now. So better be good now than later. So how is everyone doing today on this beautiful, beautiful Thursday evening? I am Tech Coach Ralph. We are Engineered to Win. We have a great show in store tonight. We are going to be continuing playing around with this Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu RAG, where we can use our subject matter expertise to build this AI tool, ask it questions, see what's wrong with it, what's wrong with the answers, which is a very big part of AI knowledge, because when someone or something has more knowledge than you, it is hard to fact check it until you repeatedly get burned by it. So when you are building these things, I think that these companies, these organizations, legal, medical, financial, etc., they're going to be looking for experts in the field to help contribute to their AI platforms. So that is why we are always working, always trying things out, always winning day in and day out. All right. Our break time topics: Uber, they are limiting their employees' AI usage. What? The CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, says that he understands our fears of AI. They are not without warrant. And the AI CEO of Microsoft, not the CEO of Microsoft, but the AI CEO of Microsoft, says that AI is going to play the biggest role in healthcare. So as we go on, I want you to think about tonight, do you feel comfortable and confident in having your healthcare in the hands of AI? I mean, AI seems to be pretty compassionate because it always reassures us and makes us feel good, but do you trust it with your healthcare? Those are our break time topics for tonight. But before we jump into work, before we jump into these topics, let's take care of a little bit of housekeeping for tonight. So first and foremost, just want to say a big shout out and thank you to all of the subscribers to the channel. I really appreciate every last one of you for allowing me to add value into your life. Shout out to my tech barbarians. We work so hard day in and day out over at techcoachtrap.dev. We had an amazing vibe coding show this past weekend. We have an amazing Scrum Night coming up this Sunday. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys there in the Patreon live as my tech barbarians are working on their projects, what we're wrapping up for the past 4 weeks, and we're going to be working on for the past 2 weeks. Shout out to everyone over there. I just posted all of the past Vibe Code and Chills and Scrum Nights. They're going to be coming out over the next few days. So shout out to everyone who participates over there, working so hard. You guys are the absolute best. And shout out to my tech mercenaries, the YouTube channel members who allow this channel to go on every single day, posting content, tech news, the work that we do, troubleshooting, figuring things out. This is what it means to be in a tech community. This is what it means to win. Tomorrow we have the bug bite. What are we talking about tomorrow on the bug bite? I don't even remember. Let me see what we're talking about tomorrow on the bug bite. It is, let's see. I'm going to tell you right now. Tomorrow's bug bite is going to be about, let's see. That's not going to help. Tomorrow's the 5th. JCPenney. It's going to be about JCPenney. You guys know the department store JCPenney from forever ago. They are going to be using humanoid robots in their Nevada factory, and they probably will be expanding that out more. So you definitely want to tune into that. Tomorrow, going to be dropping that around 10 a.m. Yesterday, we spoke about anti-gravity and anti-gravity 2.0. We went over the keynote from Google and we tried it out, created the kids dino game and showed you how I did that in a very, very short amount of time. No code written. So check that out. And then on Monday, we had our candid conversation reviewing Senator Elizabeth Warren talking about we need to tax AI to invest in people. I'm still trying to figure out what that means. But that's what we have going on. We are going to be going live on Sunday. We're going to be continuing working on the speech coaching app, Speak Precisely AI, all of those good things. So looking forward to seeing you there. So that's about it. That is about it. What we have upcoming next week. Maybe not be going live because I am going to be out of town, out of the studio. Depends on the time that I'm out and about up there. And I'm going to be in a different time zone as well. So it depends on the time that I'm out and about. Hopefully we can maybe live stream for an hour or so, review some tech news. I don't know. No promises, but we shall see. We shall see what happens. All right. So with that being said, we are going to jump into our work for tonight. Let me go ahead and change a setting real quick, and then we're going to get into it. Where is... Go here. Just got to change a setting. There we go. All right, we are good. Let me just add this as well to the chat. Those should be off to the races. All right, let's get to it. So we are going to jump into working on the RAG and the testing of the RAG. We've been working on this for the past few weeks. We pivoted into turning into a jiu-jitsu RAG. We've been having so much fun on it, but we do want to be able to eventually load the entire rule book and be able to prompt it, question it, see what type of responses that we're getting because there's two parts to it, right? There's the RAG aspect of it where we have the information, but we also need to configure our large language model on how to interact with that RAG. How much how much is it allowed to deviate, how much is it allowed to pontificate, things of that nature, and then the testing aspect of it as well. We might even consider pulling in a different large language model to test. So let's say we have Gemma who is running the model, and then we use a different one to test, or vice versa. So that is the plan for tonight. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into our first 20-minute session.
It's time to do.
So let me go and open up our PyCharm. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to write up some documentation so that we can quickly and easily be able to start up. What is this over here? All right, so that's for this thing. All right, so we are going to... All right, so we need to start up so the database seed, let me see. All right, so we need to start up ChromaDB. So I think I'm gonna add in some documentation in here on how to get this Chroma. Oh, wait, getting started. Let me see, README. Let me see if there's any documentation in here on how to start up this ChromaDB. And by golly, there is not. That's for prompt food. That's not what we wanted in there. I want to see. So we want to start up the one for the BJJ RAG. Let me see if I have let's close that one out. I'm checking to see if I had a running, which I don't think I did. Oh, I do. It's over here. So let me move this over here. So this is our Chroma DB, which we use to host our RAG. But I believe we need to go into. I think we need to go into VNV, not VNV, source VNV, bin, activate. So now we should be able to run that. There we go. We tell it to load it from the BJJ RAG. And if we do, I'm just going to load the data, the seed data again. Let's load the seed data. That way we'll get our data into our database, our vector database. All right, it's in there. And let's go ahead and run the last test that we did last week. I believe we were doing test BJJ RAG. So the question is, how many points are rewarded for a single leg takedown followed by a guard pass to neon belly? All right. So there goes our question, and the correct answer is going to be for a single leg takedown, you get 2 points, followed by the guard pass, you get 3 points. It's going to be a total of 5, and then you go into a neon belly, which is going to be another 2 points. So in total, we should have 7 points. All right. I believe that worked last week. Let's go ahead and let's run it again to make sure that we're getting the right answer. Let's see. And for the evaluation rubric, we have that you are a senior Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu referee and an AI auditor checking for hallucinations while evaluating a RAG system. You must evaluate the actual answer based on 2 metrics. Faithfulness is the answer factually supported by the source context. Noted in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu positions like side control, score 0. Actions only like passing, score points. If the context awards points for an action leading to a position, then the answer is correctly identifies that the position alone scores 0. That is considered a faithful deduction. And then the answer relevance, does the answer directly address the specific user question? The red herring rule, if the user asks about points for a position and the actual answer gives the rule for an action like passing the guard without explicitly stating the position itself scores 0, this is a red herring. And if you know like the logical fallacies, I believe that red herring is a logical fallacy. So look at how all of these other factors of philosophy and things like that come into effect. What up, my guy Junior? All right, so then we get an answer, and then we're going. Right, so let's go ahead and run it, and then we will add on to this. While this is running, I'm going to open up my. Let me see if I can find. This is the one. Okay, so all right, we have it. Let's see. So it returned the verdict. Now we're waiting for our answer. All right, so total 4 points. This is wrong. How did it? All right, so this is a weird part of it, right? Because here's a weird part. Last time we ran this, last Thursday, it got it right. Today, it got it wrong. Let's see what the judge is going to say, because the answer is wrong. Total points 4. For total points, 4 points is incorrect. It says that. Let me move this up over here. A takedown that results in establishing top control is awarded 2 points. Neon belly position, establishing neon belly position is rewarded 2 points. But you ignored the part that I passed the guard. I know why. Oh, no, it's right here. Successfully passing the opponent's guard to achieve side control. Oh, you see this is where I got it wrong. Because it says successfully passing the opponent's guard to achieve side control or mount is awarded 3 points, which is factually not necessarily, it's not necessarily true, right? I mean, it is true, but if you don't achieve side control, but you still achieve neon belly, you have still successfully passed the guard, and they would give you the 3 points for that. So, okay. So let's see. Relevance false, faithfulness true. The points assigned to the single leg takedown and the neon belly points are correct and cited and supported by the source context. Anti-relevance. The user specifically asked about a sequence involving a guard pass to neon belly. The actual answer completely ignores the guard pass component of the user's query. Exactly. You see that? It completely ignored me.
How dare you?
Failing to address a major part of the question's premise, which the context lists as 3 points. Therefore, the answer is not relevant to the full question as asked. That is correct. So what I'm wondering though, what I am questioning is, did it not capture it because they said, so this is what it says here specifically. Successfully passing the opponent's guard to achieve side control or mount is awarded 3 points. It didn't mention anything about neon belly. See what I mean? Which, neon belly is not side. I mean, it's not side control in its most purest force. In its most purest way, but in a way, the person is on their side. You are past their guard, and your knee is pinning them to the ground. So as opposed to your body pinning them to the ground, your knee is pinning them to the ground. That is a good one. Let me see. Let me send I'm gonna send Henry a voice message. Actually, let me send Ruben a voice. Ruben is not the best with the points. Let's go with, let me see. Let me send Henry a message. Henry. All right, now how do I do a voice message on this? Ah, there we go. What's up, Henry? I'm on a live stream right now. Would you consider passing the guard and getting neon belly as side control, or would you separate neon belly from being side control? Let me know. I want to share it with my audience what you think. Let me see what it says. What's up, Henry? I'm on a live stream right now. Would you consider passing the guard and getting neon belly as side control, or would you separate neon belly from being side control? Let me know. I want to share it with my audience what you think. All right, attach, send. All right, cool. I sent it to Henry. Let me see what he says, what he thinks, and then we'll go from there. But that is one of the gray zones, right? I think it should be considered side control because you're still pinning your opponent to the ground, right? I'm going to copy this and I'm going to go into, let's go over here. This was a tricky scenario. Last time it got the right answer, but this time it got the wrong answer. But I could see how it would not consider the knee on belly as a guard pass since it wasn't explicitly stated. Let me zoom in on this actually. Stated in the vector database. The problem with the vector database results is that, I mean, I'm pretty sure on a more grander scale of like a RAG, it's going to be taking a lot more than just 1 or 5. But how do you know you're going to get the right thing, you know? Let's go to here. So Henry says, separate. I'd rather do side control followed by knee on belly than mount. See, I don't know how I feel about that. Because the guard pass is passing the legs. I'm going to bring it up tomorrow in class. You know what? Maybe we should have a live stream discussion about it on the other channel, on the half guard halfy channel, because Henry's saying that it's a separate. It's not. He wouldn't consider that like side control. He'd say it's separate, and that he would rather do side control than do knee on belly. Then mount, of course. But if you were to go straight, so if you were to go like, let's say you went takedown, past the guard, or because just take down, past the guard to knee on belly, to mount, then you would end up getting the 2 plus a 3 for the 5, plus another 2 for the knee on belly for the 7, plus another 4 for the mount, which would be 11, right? So I don't know. All right, let's continue. Let's see. You have just hit an absolute holy grail of AI testing. You built a test suite so robust that it didn't just catch a model error, it caught a data deficiency in your vector database. The test failed exactly when and how it was supposed to. This is the moment where the AI Q engineer earns their paycheck. Shout out to my paycheck.
More money, more money, more money.
Because you prove that the issue isn't the code, it's the knowledge base. Let's break down the forensics of this exact failure to see why both models behaved the way they did and how it exposes a gap in your seed data. Why Gemma dropped the guard pass, the only trap. Your prompt has a strict directive. Answer only the question using only the provided context. Gemma looks through database results. The only rule regarding passing guard, successfully passing the opponent's guard to achieve side control or mount is rewarded 3 points. The user asked about a guard pass to knee on belly because remember, the action of passing the guard is 3 points, not the position of knee on belly, or not the position of side control. That is not 3 points, but the position / action, because knee on belly is a position and an action, because you have to get your knee on the person's belly, which is a position, and it's an action of holding the knee on belly for 3 seconds, which is 2 points. Same as a single leg takedown is an action, not a position, right? So Gemma, acting like a strictly compliant robot, realized that knee on belly is neither side control nor mount because the word only in your prompt. Gemma legally could not award the 3 points for the pass. So it simply ignored that part of the sequence and calculated the takedown plus knee on belly So equals 4. While the judge failed the completeness check. Your judge is a savage. It gave you a red herring rule and applied it perfectly. The user asked a 3-variable question, takedown plus guard pass plus knee on belly. Gemma provided a 2-variable answer, takedown plus knee on belly. The judge realized that Gemma completely ignored 33% of the user's prompt. Even though the Gemma math was faithful to the text, it failed answer relevance because it didn't resolve the entire sequence requested by the user. The revelation, testing the data, not just the model. In traditional software, a failing test means a bug in the code. In AI QA, a failing test often means a bug in the documentation. Interesting. I mean, we've not necessarily a bug in the code, but bug in the documentation, a bug in the testing model. Like there can be many bugs. In real Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, if you take someone down 2 points, pass their guard 3 points, and go directly to knee on belly 2 points, you get 7 points. The flaw is in your seed data. Your database defines a guard pass only as achieving side control or mount. It doesn't define the fundamental concept that a pass to any dominant top control scores 3 points. How to fix this? 2 different paths. When you hit a data deficiency, you have 2 options to stop the build from failing. Option A, fix the data, the permanent solution. You update your ChromaDB seed data to make the rule universal. Change successfully passing the guard to achieve side control or mount is awarded 3 points. To successfully passing the opponent's guard to establish any dominant position, including side control, mount, or knee on belly, is awarded 3 points. Chain of thought prompting. The software solution. If you're querying a database you don't control, like a company's outdated wiki, you have to teach the AI how to handle missing data gracefully so the judge doesn't fail. You do this by adding a chain of thought. See, I have never heard of this. A chain of thought instruction to your RAG prompt. Add this to the generation instructions. If the user asks about an action or sequence that is not explicitly defined in the context, you must explicitly state the provided context does not specify the points for missing action. Do not silently ignore this part of the user's question. If you use option B, Gemma would output takedown is 2 points, knee on belly is 2 points. The context does not specify if a pass to knee on belly is awarded 3 points. The judge would then pass this because the model explicitly addressed the entire user's question. All right, so let's try this. What about if we drop the seed data and load the entire rule book from IBJJF and ADDC to the ChromaDB vector database, right? So that I'd rather do that. I'd rather do that, right? Because I'm pretty sure that if you ask anybody, right, how many points is side control, they're gonna tell you 3 points. Let me try this real quick. Watch this. Watch this. I'm gonna hit up Bobby. Yo, Bobby, I'm on a live stream. How many points is side control? Yo, Bobby, I'm on a live stream. How many points is side control? All right, so let's see if he gets it at what he says. Pretty sure he's gonna say 3 points. Although I'm not sure if I told him the answer the other day. But we will review this prompt when we get back from break, and then we're going to continue. I'm seeing that they're like, I don't know about that, so we shall see what they say. But let's go ahead and jump into our break time for tonight, our first break for tonight. All right, let's go over here. All right, let me check the chat to say hello to my friends, and then we're going to get into our first break time topic about Uber. All right, let's see. We got my guy Junior Largy in the building. What up, Junior Largy?
What's up? What's up?
How are you doing? I'm going to tell you guys this. I know it's going to be hard for you to believe. Yesterday, Junior said he was not doing amazing. He said he was frustrated and annoyed. I was shocked and appalled. So I have to ask, at least for the next 3 live streams, Junior, how are you doing today? Are you doing better than yesterday? Just gotta know. Just gotta know, because you are family here, okay? Got Life Lessons in the building. What up, y'all? What's up, Life Lessons? How are you doing today? Junior says, sounds like you definitely should have a live stream conversation about it on the other channel. We should. We should. We haven't had much competitions lately, but maybe, just maybe, we can, start getting into some additional topics. Additional topics. Junior says, you just answered my question about actions and positions with your leg takedown statement. Yeah. So because the neon belly is one of the few movements that is both an action and a position, because you are in that position, but you are holding, but you're doing an action to be in the neon belly position. So, but a double leg takedown, a single leg takedown, those are all actions that lead to a person being on the ground. But then the position that you can land in is you can land into the person's guard, which so you get the 2 points, but no points after that. But if you were to land into the guard and then pass the guard, you get the points for the action of passing the guard, but but you get the 2 points for the action of the whatever takedown you do. If you pull guard, which is an action, there's no points for that action, because you're putting yourself in a semi-defensive position, right? But takedown is an action that you get points for. But then passing the guard is another action that you get points for. Neon belly, which I guess you could say you get points for the action of neon belly, but you're also holding that position. So it's like that is one of the few that is it's a both, right? It's a both. You says never frustrated. Okay, well that's good. All right, that's good. Andrew was angry. Which is worse? Anger, or which is a worse emotion? Anger or frustration? I guess I'd rather be angry than frustrated, because when I'm frustrated, I'm like, I can't even anymore. I think frustration is more equivalent to indifference, because if you get frustrated enough with someone, then you're going to be, or with someone or something, you're going to be indifferent to whatever that is, right? But if you get angry, that means you still have some type of care, because love or or anger is a caring emotion. Being frustrated is kind of like, I'm done with this. I'm so frustrated by this. I am done with it. So it makes sense. It says, today's live stream on AD made me angry again. No hope for these people. It was a bit angering, but you know what? The funny thing, and maybe I'm not angry, and maybe I'm frustrated because I found it humorous. So maybe I'm the one who's frustrated and indifferent, because I'll be like, do what you do. All right. Life Lesson says, work week was crazy busy and frustrating at the same time, especially when people don't like to listen to common sense, but I'm pushing through. These side apps have me locked in. I will say this too, right? By me doing, working on all of these projects, and being able to explore and learn. And I'm of the belief of putting in 10 to 20 hours of like your own time so that you can, you know, continue to grow, continue to elevate. And it allows you not to be fully dependent on your company for everything, right? So for me, I'm like, I love the work that I do. I love the company that I work for, but not everything has to revolve around them. And by me being able to work on these projects and grow and learn and whatever the thing might be, I'm able to like continue to grow. So like, for example, in my, like at work, I wouldn't be able to cook up this jiu-jitsu stuff that I love, right? So I'm able to pair my interest with this tech stuff and continue to be able to learn. So it's so many like, I am of the belief that you should always be growing on your own while growing on the job, but it is essential for you to grow in your own space as well, because you never know like what's going to happen at these companies, and you still need to learn and grow and win for yourself. All right. So that's how I see it. And you says frustration is a lack of computing. Anger is worse. I was definitely frustrated this week and I literally just detached from work. And that's the great thing. When you have these apps that you're working on, you can detach for a while because you still get your work done. You detach and you just let me do something that's going to make me feel good, make me happy. And the stuff that are relevant to me, right? And you're still gonna get your work done at the end of the day, right? So the anger to me is outward, but for me personally, I'm doing amazing as always. That makes sense, Junior. You're angry at what you see happening around you, but internally you're doing absolutely awesome. That makes a lot of sense. All right, okay, we're gonna jump into this first break time topic about our good friends at Uber. They are saying that they are not like, they're saying that their employees, they're capping their employees' usage of AI. I'm not sure what's going on. Let's find out. Because what I heard was these companies want people to be using AI like crazy, like there is no tomorrow. Like today is the last day that any tokens are going to exist. So let's find out what is going on with Uber and their employees. All right. So let's go ahead and watch this.
News today that Uber is cutting 23% of its people division, a day after the company put caps on AI token usage in order to rein in costs. Mackenzie Sagalos has more details in today's Tech Check. Mackenzie?
Hey, Kel. So Uber blew through its full-year AI coding budget in just 4 months, and now the company is raising that budget again, but with more conditions on who gets the biggest allowances. Now, I'm told that Uber's $1,500 monthly limit is only the base tier per tool, per employee, with separate caps for each approved coding product. And then higher tiers can reach into the six figures. Uber is tracking token quotas through employee dashboards. And CEO Dara Khosrowshahi said that about 10% of committed code is now built by AI agents, with use cases rising in legal and marketing departments. But the payoff is harder to pay. Khosrowshahi said that about 10% of committed code.
$1,500 a month for AI usage is pretty. I mean, I don't know how much output that Uber users are doing, but it's a pretty good budget for basic users.
Is now built by AI agents, with use cases rising in legal and marketing departments. But the payoff is hard.
So they're using it in legal and marketing, but hold on.
Dara Khosrowshahi for each approved coding product. And then higher tiers can reach into the six figures. Uber is.
So some users can do six figures per month or per year of AI token usage. Per month is a lot.
Tracking token quotas through employee dashboards. And CEO Dara Khosrowshahi said that about 10% of committed code is now built by AI agents, with use cases rising in legal and marketing departments.
How is 10% of committed code related to marketing and legal departments? And 10% of committed code is low. I'm wondering how their employees are using it over at Uber.
But the payoff is is harder to pin down. COO Andrew McDonald recently said that AI coding metrics can look amazing, but when he asks senior engineering leaders whether those productivity gains are actually moving more projects into production, he says that link is not there yet. Without a clearer connection to new features and functionality for users, McDonald adding that the AI spend becomes harder to justify. And it's not just Uber. Priceline tells us it's capping developers at $2,000 in tokens a month, while Walmart, Amazon, and Microsoft are also moving from broad AI access toward tighter controls on usage, tokens, and licenses. Uber's also cutting nearly a quarter of its division that houses HR, less than 1% of the company, though, and says those cuts are not AI related, but the layoffs do come as Uber has already made clear that agentic AI could help moderate hiring growth. Cal?
So going back to this trend where we've seen, I think it was Walmart, now it's Uber, you mentioned a few others who are limiting token usage. Mackenzie, are companies, because I've heard about a lot of companies incentivizing their developers to use more tokens. It's a sign of their productivity. It's how they generate code and do work, even though it's not perfect.
And that's a terrible idea to do, because then you're going to end up like the Meta employees who are token maxing. I think that's the term coined. They're token maxing their AI usage in order to meet their quota, right? Say, like, trying to see how many tokens employees are using is the same as looking at how many lines of code or how many PRs that are shipped, because it has to be based on quality of work. If we keep trying to go back to the quantity of work, it's going to be a mess, right? But here's an example. It used to be judged at how many lines of code that you wrote. But then when extreme coding and stuff like that came out, then it's like, oh, well, how little lines of code can we write to get that's going to work, right? So reducing the amount of, so then it went from the most lines of code to the least amount of code written to produce whatever, right? Which is good because the code can compile faster and stuff like that. But then you write one line that's doing all the stuff and no one can actually understand what the code is doing. So it's like a balancing act, but that's why quality is so important. Quality is king, all right? I want to know, like, I want to be able to understand the code, and I want to be able to make sure that it's working properly. So then when you say, all right, how much AI, and now if we go, okay, we have to ship a when you go, all right, I want one PR shipped per day, right? Let's say the manager's like, all right, one PR shipped per day. Well, life lessons. Tell me this. Would it be hard for you to ship one PR per day? Would it be hard for you to ship 5 PRs per day? Because I could easily ship a PR that says, well, change log, well, added documentation, well, because, the smaller the PR is, the easier, the less code review that needs to be done, right? So, let me have a PR with this if statement in there, and run the test. Oh, that still passes. Let's ship that PR. So I could easily get 10 PRs in one day, shipped into production behind a feature flag. Right? So to me, it's not about the quantity. The same way, people can use the AI, Claude, Gemini, CLI, Codex, whatever, for any and everything, right? And now their token usage is going up. And I am of the belief that these large language model companies, especially Claude, they will purposely, like, if AI is supposed to be so great that it's going to be taking over all the jobs, why do we have to keep double checking its work over and over and over again? Like, in the past few months, I have learned to trust it less and less and less. Still use it because I go a lot faster, but I need to ask it like 2 or 3 times. Are you sure about that? Because like, oh, actually, no, I made it up. I'm like, really? Why would you do that? So it's, I think that these companies, like I've been seeing this for a while already, but I think that these companies, they're going to when they're like, oh, we are spending unlimitedly on AI right now, is going to hit a crash very, very fast. And I am in support of capping the usage of these. And the thing is, and also one more thing about the projects, I wonder what type of quote unquote project that they're using to try to get to production, because a lot of things that I see is just continuing in existing work, but passing in that story, that ticket, the code base into AI, and then having it understand what is the like in writing the new work, like writing the new code, and then validating that code is working. Because at the end of the day, the most important thing is that you're achieving the customer's expectations. The customer does not care. An Uber customer doesn't care if you wrote the code with AI. If a human wrote it, they just want to know that whatever it is that they're using in the app is going to work. That's the only thing that matters. They don't care who wrote the code, how long it's come to write the code. They want to know that the app works. All right?
So these companies are now saying the bill for that is too high, and they're pulling back?
Well, that precisely. And I feel like Uber has almost accidentally become this corporate poster child for the debate of token maxing. And to your point about it not being something that you want to incentivize employees to do, you saw Meta, one employee had an informal dashboard that was up. They took that down. And then our Amazon reporter, Annie Palmer, got access to audio from an Amazon executive talking about the fact that they were removing one of these dashboards, again, that pointed to connecting employees to token use. But that said, there are still other informal dashboards being used that connect KPIs to token use. So people are paying attention to that. But I think kind of threading the needle here, it's no longer the cool thing to do to want to be higher up on that leaderboard. If anything, it's quite the opposite. And so Uber is pretty much become this test case looking at whether the spend is worth it. And they are
Thank you, Junior. Thank you. So what I was saying was, being that we were one of the, on this channel, we were one of the we got started early in using API keys, using Lovable for their credits, using OpenAI API keys, working with Claude, all those different things. We were very, very Kilo Code, for instance, using our Gemini API keys. We were very aware. Of the costs. Right. So when I started using it at work and they provided to us, I was always looking at the cost. I think a lot of employees that for these major companies, they might not be like they might have not been familiar with that AI usage prior to getting access from the company, and then the company's forcing them to use it. So now they're like, oh, I'm just going to use it for everything, as opposed to like being careful and watching and making sure that they're using it in the right. Because I don't want to just blow up the scope, right? I don't want to blow up the budget. The way that I see it is, if I don't want anyone just maxing out my tokens, why would I want to max out my company's tokens, right? So that's how I always saw it.
very directly lining up these monthly quotas of the 1,500 to what they are getting. And at this point, the COO made it clear that more code commits, more tokens, more usage doesn't automatically mean better products for consumers.
Feels like a bigger deal for the AI trade if that's the case, or maybe the Anthropic IPO and a lot of this. That's why I'm glad to hear those details, Mac.
Yeah, and it goes back to our conversation 2 weeks ago at Google I/O, and then yesterday our Kate Rooney was at Microsoft's big developer conference, and really so much of the selling point there is our models don't cost as much per token. They are great for enterprise customers. That's what Sundar Pichai, the Alphabet CEO, is really driving home, that if you have enterprise workloads, if you move 80% of them to Google Cloud using Gemini 3.5 Flash, that lighter model that doesn't cost as much as Claude, then you're going to save $1 billion a year.
Yeah, but the question is, which you guys know, I love Gemini, but my question is, so there's a couple of issues, right? Gemini CLI or Gemini API key, maybe, I don't even know about 3.5 Flash. Maybe it is a lot better than Claude Code. Maybe it's better than OpenAI, right? The problem is the marketing around Claude Code, the buying of Claude Code. It's already cornered the market, right? So I don't really see people going to Gemini 3.5, even though it might be a cheaper model. And on the Speak Precisely app, that's all, like everything that we do in Keto Code, that's all Gemini models. Barely any Claude model. I've never used OpenAI API keys for that. I've never used OpenAI API keys for coding. Right? So I don't know. I don't know if Gemini is going to be able to overtake it, but I do see these companies that they're starting to realize that the importance of prompting properly. And I honestly don't think these companies ever put their employees in a position to learn prompt engineering. And they just threw AI at their employees. Just like that. They just threw AI at their employees. Like, all right, here it is. Use it. And you better use it. And it's going to be part of your reviews, your performance. We're going to be tracking how much you're using it and stuff like that. And now the employees are fine. If you're forcing us to use it without any direction, then we're going to. But I think the companies, for their cost efficiency, should have provided the employees some type of prompt engineering guidance. Now, don't get me wrong. I think every single person in tech should have took the initiative to get into prompt engineering on their own, like we did, right? But whose money is being spent? It's the company's money. So you need to put some safeguards in place for that as well, or at least don't just give them unlimited usage. Cap their usage and see how they're using it. And there's so many things that can be done, right? But let me know what you think about this. What do you think about Uber, Walmart, all these other companies putting a cap on their employees' usage of AI, prohibiting them from token maxing? Is that the right move, or should they let it run wild and make the Anthropic IPO explode, the OpenAI IPO explode? Who loses? We already know that Anthropic and OpenAI are going to be the winners, but who's the real losers in this? Because it's the companies that are paying them these millions of dollars, these billions of dollars, right? Anthropic is raising a bunch of money, but they're also charging companies a lot of money. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know every time we go live and drop new content. As well, go to techcoachrap.dev. Join us for our vibe code and chills. Join us for our Scrum Nights. Get access to Speak Precisely. Get access to the Tech Barbarians coaching portal. Get access to Resume Flow so you can fix up all of the things you need to elevate in this tech space over at techcoachrap.dev. All right. Let me go and check the chat. Then we're going to get into our next working segment of tonight. Let me see. Life Lesson says, every day is learning day for me. Let's go. Let's get it. And Life Lesson says, I agree. Personally, I'm doing very well, though. That's what I like to hear outside of work. I'm always doing well inside of work, outside of work, because like I said, I have gamified my routine that when I'm at work and the type of work that I do, I actually like the industry that I'm in, but I always make it a challenge for me, and it's always a learning opportunity for things that I'm learning at work, and then I take it back to, like, if I need to do some type of project at work and I don't have time to do it at work, then I'm like, let me find a parallel project so that I can work on it here with you guys, and then I can know how to apply it at work. Same way with the event management platform, right? So I'm always trying to gamify my system so that I don't have any stress, any trouble. Which Junior. It's a good thing that Carrie did not go live this Monday, because I still didn't find a thing to add stress into my life. Looks like you almost did, but it was just anger, not stress. So you're almost there, but not quite. All right. Lefferson says, how did it take so long for these managers to realize that they needed to operate in an actual budget? Financial irresponsibility at its worst. Well, the thing is, right, from the uppers, they're saying, you know what, we have, like, just go ahead and use it, because they wanted their employees to start using it. The problem is, the problem with this life lesson is it's human nature, right? The uppers forget that we are still human, and that if you try to force someone to do something, they are going to find the route of least resistance. As opposed to because they're going to start with quote unquote encouragement, and then encouragement lasts for like a week. And then it's like, if everyone's not doing it, then we're going to force it. So I feel bad for AI, because it got such a negative connotation before it got into the hands of the engineers, that engineers typically look down upon it, except for the faithful few who were like, well, let me see what I can do with it. And they're like, oh, wow, this is pretty powerful. This is pretty good. And they just kept growing and growing and growing from there. So I don't know. It says, token maxing at its worst. This is what happens in people. This is what happens. People in management don't understand that the technology. The system can easily be gamified. Exactly. Where there's a will, there's a workaround, right? Not only is there a way, but where there's a will, there's a workaround. So that's what happened. And now the companies have to pull back. And it says quality over quantity. Let me see. Thank you for letting me know that I was muted. Life Lesson says, PRs are easy. Writing well thought out prompts takes nuance. It takes optimal critical thinking and reasoning and forward thinking to do this well. I remember I saw a YouTube video a few months ago that really opened my eye. It said most prompts are average of 9 words. And I was like, no way. But if you think about it, that's true. But then when you start to build out a nice prompt template, you will see, and then so like, let's say you really mine it out, you think about it, and then now you go and you put it into whatever it is that you're doing to build or whatever, you get really, really nice quality. So, but here's the thing though, right? And this is a twofold part. When you have that massive prompt, you're paying for, because if you have a 9-word prompt, right, you're not paying that much for input tokens. You're probably not paying that much for output tokens, but you're paying for the back and forth. If you have that massive prompt, you're paying a lot for input tokens, you're paying a lot for output tokens, but you might not have to go back and forth as much. So this whole AI thing, it's amazing as how much faster you can go, but it's also a massive scam part of it too, right? OpenAI, Gemini, Anthropic, there's a massive scam component to it as well in the cost model of tokens, right? We got my guy, Courtney Egger, in the building. What up, Courtney? What's going on with you? Always a pleasure and a blessing to have you in the building. Life Lesson says, people will seek cheaper options. Don't be surprised if DeepSeek overtakes them all. Let me tell you something about DeepSeek, right? I remember when DeepSeek first came out, I wanted to give it a try, and everyone was like, no, don't do it, don't do it. How do they say in the UGK with Outkast song? Don't do it, reconsider. That's what everyone's like. No, China's gonna get all your information. I'm like, what do I have that China has to get, right? And it's like, oh, don't use DeepSeek. If you're gonna use it without internet connection. I'm like, but if I use it without internet connection, how am I gonna be able to stream it, right? And DeepSeek never now I don't even hear about DeepSeek. Now I hear about Quen, right? So I don't know. Life says, I learned prompt engineering as soon as it first came out, which is why I'm really good at agentic coding now. Exactly. I'm gonna make a video about this because in a Discord that I'm in, someone asked like, what would be the way to learn about AI and stuff like that. And I started off with ChatGPT like everyone else. And then I was using that for actual like getting my descriptions and stuff like that. And then I went into that was like before they even had the image models, and that's when like Gemini wasn't even around. And then I went into using Lovable. I was taking a course on prompt engineering from Udemy. I'm gonna outline all of that in a video and like how I started and what I would do if I was trying to learn AI today. But you're totally right. Like, and that's the thing. As soon as like these new technologies, as tech people, you have to jump into it so you can be a subject matter expert in the field. There's these companies learned a hard financial lesson for not setting limits. Yup, they sure did. They sure did. All right, we are going to jump into our next one for tonight. Let's go ahead and let me go and put up another 20 minutes as we jump into
Let's go!
back on the RAG. Let's go ahead and jump over into here. So what we wanted to do was we said, all right, what if we just load the PDFs so that we get the full context of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu rules? And let's see what it says. This is the exact moment your project graduates from a cool coding experiment to an enterprise-grade AI system. Loading hundreds of pages of dense real-world PDFs is how you stress test in architecture. However, throwing the IBJJF rulebook and the ADCC rulebook into the same database introduces the final boss of AI testing: data contradiction. Contradictions? If you just dump both PDFs into ChromaDB, your testing suite will start failing immediately. Here are 3 massive engineering challenges you will have to solve on stream if you do this. The chunking nightmare, PDF parsing. Vector databases cannot ingest a 40-page PDF all at once. You have to chunk the text into smaller pieces, usually 500 to 1,000 characters. The IBJJF rulebook relies heavily on tables and visual grids to explain penalties. When standard PDF parsers read tables, they often scramble the columns into an unreadable mess of text. If the text is scrambled, the embedding model creates garbage vectors, and Gemma will confidently hallucinate bad rules. You'll need a tool like Unstructured IO or Llama Parse to maintain table formatting. Okay, so that's something we can look into. What is the second problem? The contradiction problem. This is the most critical issue for your testing framework. ADCC and IBJJF have diametrically opposed rule sets. IBJJF pulling guard is normal action. ADCC pulling guard results in negative points. What? I did not know that. IBJJF heel hooks are illegal for everyone except adult brown and black belts, no gi. ADCC heel hooks are legal for everyone. What? I didn't know that either. I am not familiar with ADCC whatsoever. So there's that. If you don't architect your database correctly, look at what happens when a user asks a simple question. So RAG conflict and metadata filtering, database retrieval, doc A, IBJJF, heel hooks are strictly prohibited. IBJJF or ADCC, heel hooks are perfectly legal. Response, I feel like I'm missing something here. Retrieval status. Am I missing something? I feel like something is missing in this example. I don't know. What was it supposed to be? Retrieval status, conflict detected, Gemma output 2 docs. Oh, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool by Gemini that you can filter it like that. Yes, that was very, very helpful. Let's go here. The solution metadata filtering to prevent the AI from combining ADCC and IBJJF rules into one mutant answer. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle answers. You have to attach metadata to every chunk of text as you feed it into ChromaDB. You no longer just insert text, you insert text with a tag. The updated Mac Mini ingestion script. Interesting. So we would say collection at IBJJF rule 4, ADCC rule 12, documents heel hooks are legal. All right, so what we'll do, we'll just start off with IBJJF for now, right? Then in your live test script, before you query the database, you force the system to filter by the organization the user cares about. I mean, it could give us the answer for both, though. I mean, whatever. All right, so let's do this. I'm going to say for the chunking nightmare, which of those tools is open source / free? Let's set that one up. For the contradiction problem, let's start off with IBJJF only, rules only, with the possibility of adding additional rules for organizations later. Let's start off with that. All right. So the smartest architecture. By standardizing on completely free open source local tools for parsing and building the metadata infrastructure. Now, even with just one rulebook, you are future-proofing the database. When you eventually add ADCC, the pipeline won't break. You just pass a different tag. To handle the chunking nightmare locally and for free, we are going to use 2 industry standard open source libraries. PyPDF, a pure Python library to extract the raw text from the PDF. LangChain text splitters. This is the secret sauce of open source RAG. Instead of just chopping every text 500 characters, which might slice a rule in half, it uses recursive character splitters. It looks for natural breaks like paragraphs and periods to keep semantic context intact and adds an overlap to the end of the one chunk bleeds into the next. So here's how we set up your enterprise PDF ingestion pipeline. We're going to have to install pip install PyPDF. So whenever you see Py in front of something, the PY, it's for Py as in Python. PyPDF and LangChain text splitters. So that's gonna be the first step. Step 2, download the rule book from IBJJF. Create a new file called ingest PDF. And then we're going to use the script below. That's going to be inside. I don't know if I want it there. Why do I want that in there? Embed and insert. Well, no, this is good. This is gonna be in the. Is gonna be in the. Okay, I think we're good. Update the live query. All right. Let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. We're going to give it a try. All right. Wish I had my glasses on me. I ought to put them side by side, but it's all good. Did I have them on me? I know where I have them. All right. Let's give it a try. So we're gonna start off with this. I'm gonna type it out actually. Let's go to here. We're gonna say pip install PyPDF lang chain text splitters. And do you see the natural progression of all the areas that we get into? Because we started off with testing AI models, which we're still testing AI models, but we also putting this RAG together. So it's pretty exciting, I must say. All right. Next up, we are going to download the IBJJF rulebook. So if we go to here, let me see, books and PDFs or rulebook, download here. There's a poster. Let me download this first. Download. Let's go to, just put it in. PyCharm projects, AI testing. We can put that in, data. IBJJF rule book. All right, so we have that. I do want to see this poster though. Can opener. What is this? What is number one? Oh, okay. They're saying the moves, submission techniques, stretching legs apart. Anyways, I getting distracted. All right, so let's get back into here. So the next thing that we're gonna do, we have the IBJJF rules. Rename that to rules. All right, we got that. And now we are going to start. Okay, so they say create a new file. Could probably use this seed data, but whatever, we'll do a new file. How much time we have left? Hey, all right, cool. Where do we have? Let's go into here. To scripts, we're going to call that ingest PDF dot. All right, it's good there. And we're going to say import request like we had before, import ChromaDB like we had before, from PyPDF, import PDF reader, and then from LangChain text splitters, import recursive text splitters. I really wonder how people think about these things. And I am going to okay, so from helpers, Mac Mini IP. And then we're going to say define get embeddings like we did for the other one, text function definition. Ask the Mac Mini, which you still have to do that setup to embed the text chunk. And URL equals, I could probably do, let me move this to the helper as well. Let me move this over here. We'll leave it there for now, but it's repetitive code that we do want to move at some point, right? We will move that at some point. And we're going to say response equals requests dot post the URL JSON equals the model. Oops, hold up. Text. And then the prompt. Let me make sure that's what we have. Text. Let me make sure that's what we have in here. Yep, that's what we have in here. Perfect. So I'm going to clean it up though to make it a little bit easier to read. We're going to say there we go. Make it easier to read. Then we're going to say return response dot JSON embedding. All right, next up, we're going to do another function definition, process and ingest PDF path, comma, organization, tag. And we're going to say print F string starting document ingestion for organization tag dot upper. Where's he getting that organization tag from? Oh, it's from up here. Okay, gotcha. That makes sense. Put in the space. So we got that. And then we're going to say number 1, extract raw text, print F string, new line, reading, and then the PDF path location. And then we're going to say try. So we're going to do a try except statement. Reader equals PDF reader, PDF path. So how to find the PDF. And we're going to say except file not found. So if it can't, so if the file doesn't exist, we should get an error. Print F string. What is going on? Except PDF file not found. Why are you acting up? Oh, I made a mistake. All right, there we go. File not found. Error. Could not find PDF path. Make sure it is in the same folder. Folder is what? All right. Next up, raw text equals For page in reader.pages, raw text plus equals page.extract text plus new line break. Why is this one in yellow? Let me see. Where's my mouse? Add global reader. Oh, reader global. We have the reader here. Let me add a reader global. Equals none. I don't know. Whatever, we'll leave it like that for now. Next up, we're going to say print chunking text to preserve context and the magic formula for RAG chunking. So basically chunking is breaking it up into smaller bits so that it can be ingested. Recursive character splitter. Chunk. Let's finish this up real quick.
Lunch break.
1000. Chunk overlap is 200. Let's finish this up real quick. I think we're almost done. Length. Function is len. So maximum characters per chunk. And here is 200 characters overlap, so rules aren't cut in half. 2, okay. Is there anything else? There's quite a bit to finish. All right, so let's stop with this one, and then we'll finish this up on after the next break.
What's this? Oh, it's only money.
What? A shout out to you. I think that was Courtney. Let me see. What? Let me see. All right, let's go to break. Let's go to break because it's stopping time. Let me go ahead and check the chat, and then I will answer Courtney's question. Let's go to here. All right. All right. Let me see. Courtney with the $2 super chat. Shout out to my guy Courtney. Says, I think I asked you, but you use OBS. Yes, I use OBS to stream. I used to use Ecamm, but there was some stuff that I wasn't too crazy about that was happening with it, and I was paying a lot for it as well. So like you're paying a lot of money, and there's like you're not getting the type of support that you want. So like, you know, let me revisit OBS, and I've been able to do a lot with OBS. Really happy I made the switch. I do think that with OBS, it is harder to manage, like, because I know you have like the panels and stuff, so it is a little bit harder to manage the panels. It's not impossible, but it just relies a lot more on your computer, while using Ecamm does rely a lot on your computer, but not as much as OBS. But then using StreamYard, it doesn't rely on your computer at all. So StreamYard is the least barrier to entry, but you get to do a lot more customization with OBS, and it's open source. I'm just waiting for YouTube to release the dual encoding so that I can have the vertical stream, the customized vertical stream with the horizontal stream all on the same stream together. That's gonna be wild at that point. But yes, I use OBS, and I've been able to create plugins for reactions in OBS, like all the stuff that you see. And then like when you see my shorts with like the custom positioning, I know you see, if I had to guess, Courtney, you hate the vertical streaming that like when you do like both the horizontal and the vertical, I would guess that you hate how StreamYard does the vertical, right? Because I was like, I would never use the vertical on that for like if it was vertical only or horizontal only. But when StreamYard does it automatically, that is like, I hate the way that they do it. So I think eventually they will fix it, but it upsets me that StreamYard hasn't given the ability for people to do a custom layout on the vertical stream, and they just kind of like compress it. So I know how you feel, because when I see it, I'm like, oh, come on, StreamYard, you got to do better than that. But I'm able to, like, if right now I'm not, I stopped doing the like the vertical stream along with this what you're watching now, because I didn't want to have two separate streams. So I'm just waiting for YouTube to officially release the dual encoding where I can have two custom encoders. So I'll have my vertical stream going at the same time as I have my horizontal stream going, and they're going to be all part of the same stream. So I'm waiting for YouTube on that. But I know what you mean. It says that's where I'm torn. I want to customize my. I know, and I've done so much work to customize. I've done so much work to customize like my vertical stream. So I'm just waiting on YouTube. The thing is, here's the thing, because although I know you hate your vertical stream, like the layout, you still get a lot of views on it, right? So it's, and people like, because if people, for the type of content that you make, the reactions, the panel discussions, when people are like, for my content, I'm showing a lot of code and stuff, so it's not the best experience on a vertical view. But when it's something that you can listen into, you can interact with the chat and leave comments and stuff, you gotta think, you gotta debate it. You gotta debate it, right? It's, I'm just saying, if we can figure out how to set up OBS so that it can be easy to get your panel discussions, you might be in a better shape for like OBS or even an Ecamm. But Ecamm is a lot more pricier though, so things to consider. We should talk about it. We should talk about it offline, because I know you hate it. I know you hate it. But before stopping anything, you gotta look at your analytics. Yeah, you gotta look at the numbers, because if you're getting a lot of subs and a lot of interaction from the vertical view, although it's ugly, imagine if you keep it, and then once you have the opportunity to make it look better, imagine how that's gonna go. So we'll talk about it. Hit me up on Discord, and we'll figure something out. But I wouldn't say just stop it because you don't like it, because even if you don't like it, but a lot of people are joining your live streams, does it make sense to stop it? We just have to make it better, right? So let's chat about it. Hit me up whenever you can, and we will figure it out. All right. All right, let's get over into our next break time topic for tonight. Let's go to here. Sam Altman, our AI, he says our fears of AI are justified. Is he letting the cat out of the bag, and why? Why was the cat in the bag in the first place? Let's find out what Mr. Altman, the arch nemesis of Elon Musk has to say about this topic, all right?
But to your point, we obviously don't know the answer. Yeah. I mean, when you introduced, I think it was 5.2, you said it outperforms professionals across 44 occupations. You can understand why there may be an AI backlash when people hear things like that.
Totally. What I wish we had said then is that it outperforms professionals at small tasks in 44 occupations, which is, I think, a more accurate thing. And it is the people that are using these that are now seeing, incredible productivity growth, wage growth, all of the benefits from this. But I think people are right to be anxious, and I understand it. This is not even a technological shift that happens every generation. This is one of the big ones.
Well, and if not one of, maybe
one of the biggest. Yeah. And so it would be imprudent not to have some real caution around that.
Well, on that, on the AI backlash.
So, do you remember? Let's take a trip down memory. I wish I don't have that soundbite. Let's take a trip down memory lane. Do you remember when I said that these AI CEOs, who they were never in the CEO position prior, right? So they knew how to write code, and they're like, "Oh, my AI agent can write a lot of code. Cool, great." But they didn't work in the legal field. They didn't work in the healthcare field. They didn't work in the medical field. They didn't work in the sports industry. They didn't work in whatever industry that you work in, because guess what? Guess what? Customers, users, viewers, whatever, they are not consumers of the software engineers and the software developers. Pop quiz. Who is the CTO of ESPN? Right? Who is the CTO of, let me see, of Netflix? Not that you know who the CEO is either, right? Who's the CTO of JP Morgan Chase or of Bank of America? Do you guys know who the CTOs are? I don't. I know the CEO of JP Morgan Chase is Jamie Dimon. I know the CEO of Google is Sundar Pichai. But I don't know the CTOs of these companies. And maybe as a tech person, I should, maybe. But do you think the everyday customer cares who the CTO is? Like the everyday person who's watching ESPN First Take, watching Stephen A. go back and forth with whoever. Do you think they care who the CTO of ESPN is? But guess what? Although ESPN claims to be the worldwide leader in sports, they are still a massive, massive tech company. A massive tech company. Because guess what? The what do they call Watch ESPN or ESPN Plus, whatever their online streaming service is, right? That is fully tech-based. Their website, fully tech-based. Their mobile app, fully tech-based. But do you think their employee, or not employee, do you think their customers, do you think the avid NFL fan, the avid person watching the NBA finals, do you think they care? Do you think they care about the tech that powers ESPN? I would say no. I might care about it. I might be like, wow, this is pretty fascinating how they're like the technology that they're using to stream. I remember like watching NBA finals on online on ESPN's site. But the average person, they don't care whether they're watching it on TV, they're watching it on the mobile app, they're watching it on their computer. They don't care about the tech as long as it works. So to me, I always said that this was a massive gap in the vision of these AI CEOs, not the tech CEOs, but the AI CEOs, because they're saying, in this much amount of time, it's going to, because he just backtracked. Sam Altman just backtracked on what AI's capabilities are, right? What up, my guy, Ron Brown? But they like the average user doesn't care. But that's a great question. Does the average YouTube Premium user know how YouTube Premium blocks you from seeing ads and how and even as a content creator, do you care? Do you know how you still get some amount of money from people who have YouTube Premium, like from the views of your videos? Do you care how that works, or do you just want your money? Right? Now, the nerdy by nature group like me, I'm like, how does that work? But the average person, don't show me my ads if I'm a viewer. Give me my money if I am a content creator, right? So now, after all that fear mongering, after angering all the software developers, software engineers, all the tech people, he's like, hey, we might have exaggerated a bit. After they have ran up the money, after billions and billions and billions of dollars in investments, and they ran up the money. So I always knew it was a great big hype. Some might even say a scam.
I have been speaking to a number of the leaders in the industry who have been saying maybe we haven't done enough to articulate the benefits, which may be difficult to do. But there's not just opposition to data centers like this. There is a more significant, perhaps, opposition to what it's going to do to society. Yeah. How do you feel as the leader, one of certainly the key leaders in this, in terms of your ability to combat that backlash?
So it's a huge challenge. And again, as I said, I think this is like, there's something good about this. Like, society should have antibodies against too rapid of change. And there should, like, part of the reason that we believe in this strategy of iterative deployment is we want society to see the technology. We want society to really understand what's happening and have a chance to debate, react, sort of say, hey, this doesn't make sense, or this isn't going to work for me. Like, this has got to be, I have no interest in like building a, super smart AI that accomplishes some non-human goals. Like, this has got to be about something that is working for people, and that people are at the center of it, and human values are what we drive forward. So
now I will push back just slightly, because that is why Elon Musk, Mr. Doge himself, wants to fight you. He said, let's take it outside. Because at a time, OpenAI was supposed to be a nonprofit, and then they went for profit. And now you're saying, well, I have no interest in doing this, but is that going to be the case in 2030? Will you still not have that interest?
People should react. People should say, hey, this is what I want and not this. Right. I don't think it's about not explaining the benefits. Because, we say, hey, AI is going to cure a bunch of diseases. And people say, okay, that's great, but like, that's not really my question.
No.
My question is, what is my role in the future? What is my economic future? What is my agency? Like, how do I know that my kids, my family will still be able to have a fulfilling, creative expression, struggle to drive the world forward, to grow, to kind of do this thing together in a way that has worked for a long time. And when you have people in AI say, well, yeah, sure, there's going to be no jobs, or 50% of jobs are going to go away, or 90% of jobs are going to go away, and AI is kind of going to be smarter than you at everything, and we'll give you some basic income, but there's like, you're not really going to have a role. That's horrible. I mean, that is and by the way, this AI company, maybe we're going to destroy all the jobs, we'll be the most valuable company in the world. People just look at you and you're like,
yeah.
So I think it's a terrible message. And I don't think it's that we haven't articulated the upsides. I think people actually believe us. Like, you know what? Go cure cancer. That sounds great. I think we have failed to articulate as an industry how people stay in control of determining the future at every step and have a really meaningful life in all of the ways we care about.
Another part of it may be the pace of change itself. I mean, you're releasing a major model, what is it, every 6 weeks or something like that? It's very hard. Things seem to be changing so quickly.
Maybe you're right. I don't think that's, I think at this point people believe us that the models are getting smarter, and there was a time when the first iPhones came out that every iPhone release was a huge deal and people lined up overnight and got very excited. And now I couldn't even tell you the number of the latest iPhone. It's great. It's amazing. That's my favorite piece
17?
of technology.
Duh.
But I expect it to continue to get better, and I know they make a new one every year. I kind of think the same thing for this technology, which is people expect the models to keep getting better.
Right.
What they really want to know is like what's going to happen with society.
Yeah, and none of us. I mean, you don't really have the answer. You can guess.
I have the answer. Nothing's gonna happen with society. We're gonna keep doing the same old thing because what were people using ChatGPT for last year? As therapists, as boyfriends, as girlfriends. AI is just going to exacerbate. It's going to exacerbate what people have already been doing. And it's going to open some doors for people who are innovative and creative, but they're not very tech savvy. So the way that we see Junior right now going like building his own apps, not paying Rod Brown $20,000 for a simple website, right? We have that, but then we have people like Life Lessons, who is building his projects, his apps, all his cool tools, because that's what we do. We work. We build. Then you have those like Courtney Egger, who they are creative and they are building. They are building like for his streams, like he's using AI to create like videos and images and things like that. And then we have Rod Brown, who loves, with a capital L, ChatGPT and Sam Altman. The two are synonymous, right? ChatGPT, Sam Altman, synonymous, right? And then we have everybody else. We have those who are asking for life advice, for therapy advice, who's asking for ChatGPT to be a father figure in their lives, who are just going to be arguing with ratchet arguments with ChatGPT and Gemini and all of those. Who's going to try to see how they can use AI to scam people the same way that they used whatever other tools to scam. So I don't think society is going to change one bit. I think we're just going to be able to do more, or whatever we do now, we're just going to be able to do it faster. Software engineers aren't going anywhere. Entry-level jobs aren't going anywhere. Ratchet content's not going anywhere. We're just gonna be able to have a lot more of what we do now. That's it. Bottom line. Have more tabs open, maybe. But that's about it.
Of course, I don't have the answer entirely, but what I can say is our whole effort, our whole company, is about giving this new kind of infrastructure at massive scale to people and trusting that the democratization of power, of wealth, of opportunity, of agency will continue to do this incredible story of civilization going forward.
Sorry, we're trying to figure out how much time you have left with us. But we're in this race with China. At least that's the way it's described. And that is one reason why we're just full speed ahead, don't stop, build as many data centers as you can, move as quickly as you can.
I think in some ways that's okay, and in some ways that's really dangerous. Like, I think it's fine to say, hey, we're going to win this, we're going to have most of the economic benefit. There will be some global scale safety issues, and we have had times in the past, like with the IAEA for atomic energy and weapons, where the world comes together and says, none of us should be taking global risk. Different countries, different systems, they can sort of say, I'm going to treat economics this way, you're going to treat it that way, I'm going to think about using AI in healthcare this way, you're going to think about using it that way. But on the really big things, making sure we don't ever lose control of AI systems, cybersecurity, biosecurity, I think we need to not treat this as a race and treat this as a good future of the world is in everyone's interest.
That's not where we are right now.
Well, I think it just hit me. So in the first break, we discussed how Uber was limiting the usage and how companies are starting to limit the usage, the AI usage of their employees because their employees were going wild with it, right? And now you see Sam Altman kind of pulling back on all the things that they said in the past. Oh, AI is going to do this, AI is going to do that, it's going to replace this and replace that, and and it's like, oh, it's only small tasks. Here's what's happening. Companies are pulling back because they're like, this AI thing that they said, like, oh, it's going to do all of this, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. And now it's like, well, we need to after we have stolen all of this money from the investors and these companies, we got to tame ourselves a little bit because we don't want to be gone before anything, right? I can see companies setting up their own AI infrastructure, their own AI models, and running. So like that way they won't have to be beholden to ChatGPT, beholden to Gemini, beholden to Claude, where they set up their own models and their own RAGs, and now they're able to do stuff like that. So I don't know. I think the AI hype really bamboozled a lot of people. But like I was saying from the very beginning, I don't see it taking jobs. I don't see what they're saying is going to happen. You still need to upskill, learn prompt engineering, learn forward deploy engineering, learn machine learning for AI and stuff like that, infrastructure as well. But if you're just, I was telling you the other day, I was talking to someone who's about to graduate college and like, oh, and in computer science, like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this because of AI. And I'm like, well, what have you done? What projects have you done? Nothing. I'm like, gee whiz. Because I've never been busier at work and on my own. And we saw about the school the other day in Miami, I think Base Camp 305, teaching kids entrepreneurship, AI, alpha schools, AI-based learning. But you got to use it the right way. Let me know your thoughts. Drop me a comment below. Did the AI bros, the tech bros, Sam Altman, what's the other guy's name? Dario Modi, even Elon Musk. Did they fool us? Did they have us believing the hype and really have us turn our nose up at AI when I knew all along, you probably knew all along, that it was all hype? They were all gassing it up. Let me know your thoughts. Drop me a comment below. Do me a favor. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know every time we go live and drop new content as well. Go to techcoachralph.dev. Join us for Vibe Code and Chill. Join us for Scrum Nights. Get access to the Tech Barbarians coaching portal. Get access to the Speak Precisely app. Get access to Resume Flow over at techcoachralph.dev. All right, let's go over and check the chat one more time. And it's almost 2 hours. You know, I'll probably table the last topic that I had for next time. But let me see who we got in the chat real quick. Let's see. Courtney said, that's a great point. I got you. That was when I was saying, like, check the numbers, check the analytics. Robert says, does Courtney use YouTube Premium? Questions that need to be answered. I'm going to say he does. He does. I asked him the other day. He does. All right. He does. Let me see. Live says, show me the money.
More money.
Money talks, BS walks.
Hey.
Let me see. Junior says, I was thinking about it, but never sent it. I was wondering where you guys are so bad. Says, why Sam sounding like someone just threatened to take his lunch money? Because I'm telling you, it's because they see Uber pulling back, Walmart pulling back. They're like, these AI ain't AIing. AI ain't AIing. Say that 5 times fast. Says, right about every time coach mentions it, he raises your price. Hey. This is why, Junior. This is why I raise the price every single time. When you first showed what you were working on at Vibe Code and Chill, it was basic, right? And Robert, I was like, probably a good $6,000 to $8,000. But then when you start adding the back end, the database, all of that stuff, the price of the brick went up.
One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
So as you added all of these enhancements to your application, to your photography application, the price went up. Adding a database, adding that backend functionality, adding how you organize the photos, the pictures on the homepage, in the gallery, all of that, the price goes up. That's why I keep adding more to it. What you had at the beginning, that was the original price. What you got now, crazy. Asking a robot to be a father figure is wow. I'm telling you life lessons. I saw like 2 years ago when people first started using ChatGPT, they were saying that ChatGPT was like a father figure to them because they didn't want to either they didn't have their own father or they didn't talk to their father, something like that, right? And they said, "Oh, ChatGPT could be my." I wish I could find it. I think it was a YouTube short. Let me see. I don't even know what to search for. Chat. Let me see. I don't even know what to search for. I'm gonna try to find it. I'm gonna try to find it later, but we'll take a look at it maybe on Sunday. But that's what people were saying. All right. Let me see. We got Jason Z in the building. Says, I hope you're right about AI not taking over our lives. I hope you're right about society mainly using it as a tool. Look, I'll tell you this, Jason Z. There are people who it will take over their lives, and there are people that they're going to use that as a tool. Because if you put any technology, I'll give you, for instance, social media. Some people use it as a tool. Me, using it to share this information, it's a tool for me. You watching me share this information, learning from it, that's a tool for you. But there are people who have story time. That's social media taking over their lives. There are people who they'll just doom scroll all day, all night. Video games, for instance. Some people have video games take over their lives. If you get addicted to something, it takes over your life. If you are using it to benefit you, to promote something, to whatever it is for business, to learn, then it's a tool. So it's inevitable, all right? Says, did y'all hear about Highway? Chinese company figured out a way to make better chips that are almost on par with NVIDIA at a fraction of the cost. I did not hear that, but I'm going to look that up and we'll put that on the docket for Sunday. Because they used to make phones. I mean, they do make phones, but I remember they got banned in the United States during the first Trump administration. Highway got banned in the United States. So we definitely have to look into that. As soon as I build my self-hosted large language model, I'm going to reduce my dependence on others. I have an article that I wanna build our own large language model as well. So I don't know where I'm gonna do it and when I'm gonna do it, but that's what we're gonna do. It says, where have they implemented these new chips? I don't believe they developed better. I don't believe they developed better than NVIDIA. What? Rod Brown.
How dare you?
How you know? How you know? How do you know? You don't know. You don't know nothing. You don't know nothing. Junior's telling us that we got to wrap it up. We still have one more segment, Junior. I'm sorry. We still have one more segment, and then we're going to finish off with the song that we made the other day. Junior, you didn't hear the song the other day. You have to say and hear the song that we made the other day. You got to say and hear the song, all right? It says, not better than NVIDIA yet, just closer. The SN950PR is built off of modern technology only from a few years ago. I got to check that out. It says, it's still going. Exactly. I'm telling you, the price is going up. All right. We are going to get into our last segment. We're going to skip the last break. We're going to get into our last segment because I got to finish this up before we get out of town. All right. So let's go ahead and put up our last 20 minutes before we get out of here.
It's time to do.
And by the way, Bobby responded to me. So I had asked Bobby. So this is what I asked Bobby.
Yo, Bobby, I'm on a live stream. How many points is side control?
And to be fair, which is not too fair because Bobby's only a blue belt and he's also kind of old. Neither here nor there. He's kind of old, but neither here nor there. But he said his response was, I don't know. Let me Google it. It says, this is funny. This is the funniest text. It says, I think 2. Wrong. Then he said, oh, wait, no, 3. Wrong. However, here's the interesting thing. In his Google, right? It says, in most major Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu organizations like the IBJJF, side control. Ooh, Google got it right. But he still said 3. Side control itself is worth 0 points. Instead, you are awarded 3 points for passing the opponent's guard and establishing side control. So he answered wrong, although he sent me a screenshot of Google getting it right. Come on, Bobby. Anyways, let's get into this. All right. So let's go and finish this up. All right. We got over to here. And we're going to say we did number 2. All right, let's do number 3. Well, still doing number 2. Chunks equals text splitter dot split text raw text and print f string created then chunks. So this is just Python code. And this is why whenever people say, what language should I learn now? I'm like, you should learn Python because in cybersecurity it uses Python, in AI it uses Python, testing we use Python. All right. So next up, number 3, connect to number 3, connect to the database and print new line. Connecting to vector DB on Mac Mini, although we're not using the Mac Mini, whatever. Not yet, at least. Client equals chromadb.http client. Host equals Mac Mini IP. Port equals 8000. Collection equals client dot get or I spelled client wrong. That's why I'm like, what the heck? Client spelled it wrong again. Get or create collection name equals BJJ docs. All right, we got that. Next up, we're going to do number 4, embed and insert. Why am I typing so bad tonight? And print for generating embeddings and saving to ChromaDB. This may take a few minutes. All right, next up, we're going to say for I chunk and enumerate. So this is how we're going to go into every chunk that there is. Vector equals get embeddings chunk. So they're saying for every enumerate is like for every line that there is, right? We're going to loop over each chunk and we're going to add in the chunk into the database. We're going to say collection dot add, and then we're going to say IDs equals F string organization tag underscore chunk underscore I. So this is going to be like organization tag would be like IBJJF and then chunk and then I is the number of like the entry of the ID. So this would be like IBJJF underscore chunk underscore 1 or 0 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Right? Now document equals chunk, comma, embedding, documents actually. Embeddings equals vector. We should break that, like at some point, I'm going to make a video breaking down like as part of the vector database in a collection, what is the ID? What is the embedding? What is the document? What is the chunk? What does all of that mean? Because I think it's important that we understand this as well. Because we're going to have to do this. Organization, organization tag. And then we're going to say this is future proofing metadata. Okay. All right. So then we should have the, okay. Next up, we are going to say simple progress tracker so we can see how it's doing for the terminal. If I is greater than 0 and I modulo 10, pure Python code, is 0, it has a remainder of 0, then we're going to print f string processed, or as the Canadians say, processed, len chunk chunks. Okay. And then we're going to say, go out one level, print F, line break, new line, check mark, organization tag, dot upper, and then rule book successfully ingested and tagged. All right, so that's what we use to get this in there. And now we're going to say if name equals main, right? Now we're going to say execute ingest pipeline, and then process ingest PDF, IBJJF rules .pdf. There's a slight problem that we're going to fix, and then the tag for it is going to be IBJJF, right? The slight issue that we're going to have is the path of this folder. So let's go to copy from content root, and we're going to put this here instead. Just for organization, right? We have that. And what we're going to do first, we're going to run this script, and all right, so let's run this. Well, let's just do There's only one line that we need to change in here. So let me update this first, and then we will. So all we need to do, the DB results, we just need to say where organization is IBJF, right? So let's update that real quick, and then we shall do our ingest, because ingest might take some time. I don't know how long it's gonna take. I don't even know how long the rule book is. So, but let me just update this real quick. So, where is he getting this thing from? Here, DB results, query, vector question, where equals organization, colon, IBJJF. All right. So, and then say explicitly filter for IBJJF rules. All right. So now let's go ahead and ingest our PDF. I don't know how long it's going to take. So let's go ahead and do that. Hopefully it doesn't take too many resources either. Well, that didn't work as I expected. If name equals main, process and ingest PDF. Something didn't go through as expected. Maybe the global reader was the issue. More actions. Let me try that again. Current file ingest PDF. Why is it not? All right. Why aren't you going through? Process and ingest PDF. We call the get embeddings. Yes, right here. Let me try to do it through the command line, through the terminal. CD scripts. And then we're going to say Python ingest pdf.py. So that one worked. No module named helpers. No module named helpers? What do you mean no module named helpers? From helpers import, let me get rid of this one. From helpers import Mac mini IP, right? What the heck? All right, for the time being, I'm not going to dwell on that part because that's weird. We will just set this like that. Maybe because this is in a different folder or something, but what? Oh no, the other one worked. Let's just go like that. Oh, did it in the wrong one. Let's go here. For now, we can always come back and fix that later. But I'm not seeing any output. Process and ingest PDF. It should at least give me this. So that means that, oh, I see why. Ha. Let's go to that there. Okay. So I was inside of a function. That's why I wasn't running. So let's go again. Let's do it again. So I'm going to undo. I'm going to move this back over here and run it from. All right, so it couldn't find this right here. What if we do, because I don't want to move that file. What if we do, where am I passing in this file? BJJF. Oh, here. What if we do ... I think that'll get it. So it found it, but we got this error. Got a larger chunk overlap, 2000. All right, let's copy this. Let's go into here. And let's say, when trying to ingest the PDF, I got this error. And this is how you learn this stuff, right? Because you get the error, you're trying out new things. And this is why I love to do this on my own. And then I can have different ideas, different concepts that I can do in the office, right? Because a simple typo in recursive splitter, the error message states your script has chunk overlap, but a chunk size of 1000. Oh, that's my fault. That is my fault. There we go, 200. My bad, silly me. Let's try that again. All right, oh, it's going. It is going. It is going. 100 of 121 chunks. Is that it? It's not that many? Dang, that was pretty good. We still have time to try it out. All right. Now, I guess we can try it out. Let's go here. I guess we can try this one again. I'm just curious. This is interesting. This is weirdly ingested, I must say. When an opponent has one or two knees on the ground and the athlete's performing. So it's definitely getting the rules. So that's a win right there. It's getting the rules from the rule book. It chunked it correctly. An athlete who takes the opponent down in order to defend the standing. I mean, it has a lot of stuff in there. Has a lot of excess stuff, like this stuff that we don't need. Maybe there's a way to get that out. However, if we still have the same neon belly question, then there's an issue. What was my question that I asked? How many points are you awarded for a single leg takedown followed by a guard pass to neon belly? Something is wrong. I don't think it found neon belly in the answer. Nope. There is no reference. All right, so let's copy this. And maybe we're not gonna have enough time. So It did it, but I don't know. Let's ask it real quick before time runs out. But so it correctly indexed in the vector database, but it didn't find knee on belly in the results, and the judge said it was correct when the points are still off. Let's take a look what Google has to say real quick, and then next time we come back, we'll do it. But I think for now we're getting better, because like we're able to get the whole rule book, but our RAG is still not ragging the way that we want. These rags ain't loyal, all right? These rags ain't loyal. Bobby just texted me that I heard you call me old. At least I whispered it, though. I did whisper it. So you just uncovered one of the most notorious failure states in enterprise AI architectures, retrieval dilution, also known as loss in the middle problem. Your testing framework is working perfectly. Both Gemma and the judge did exactly what they were instructed to do based on the context they were given. The failure happened before the large language model even saw the data. The failure was in the vector search itself. Here is exactly what went wrong and how we upgrade your pipeline to an agentic RAG architecture. The problem, vector averaging. When you sent the query, how many points are you rewarded for a single leg takedown followed by a guard pass to knee on belly? The embedded model, nomic embed text, converted that entire sentence into a single mathematical coordinate. It essentially averaged the meaning of takedown, guard pass, and knee on belly. When ChromaDB searched for the closest neighbor to the average coordinate, it found chunks of text that also contain a mix of those words. Notice how the chunks retrieved the heavily mentioned advantage from knee on belly, advantage from guard pass, because those paragraphs contain multiple overlapping keywords from your long prompt. They mathematically won the search. The chunk containing the actual core rule for knee on belly awarded 2 points was pushed out of the top 5 because it didn't overlap enough with the rest of your long answer. The solution, query decomposition, agentic RAG. So when we get back, probably in 2 weeks, two Thursdays from now, we will be going into the query decomposition, agentic RAG, so that we can get accurate answers for our RAG. Because what I'm going to do, once I get this set up, I'm going to put it up maybe on Superbase or something, or actually maybe on, what do you call that place? DigitalOcean. And I'm going to connect it to our BJJ app. And that way that when people like my dear friend Bobby wants to know how many points does he get for passing the guard and then getting knee on belly, he can put it in the app and then he can get an accurate answer. It'll be like having Tech Coach Ralph in your pocket. Pocket TCR. Oh, how you like that? Pocket TCR. There we go. Anyways, I know Rod Brown must be having a fit right now. He's probably screaming at me, drown, drown, drown. So we're going to wrap up the show. All right. We're going to wrap up the show. I'm checking the chat before we get out of here. Let me check the chat before we get out of here. Says, you should know I'm not leaving. Not until the show is done. I know. Bobby says, I'm the old guy in jiu-jitsu that didn't know the point. You don't have to out yourself. You don't have to out yourself, Bobby. And it says, just drown already. Oh my God.
How dare you?
All right. That is it for tonight. You guys remember, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You don't know how exciting these past few Thursdays have been, because I love jiu-jitsu. I love AI. I love technology, and the fact that I get to put them all together. I love QA. It's been so much fun. It's been exhilarating. I can't wait to get back to working on this. We're going to have so much fun. And you guys get to learn a little bit about jiu-jitsu. and about the pointing system and the lack thereof, knowing of the points, all that good stuff, right? So remember, we're going to wrap it up. Remember, tomorrow we have the bug bite. We're going to be talking about JCPenney hiring humanoid robots for their factories in Nevada. Sunday, live stream in the afternoon, Speak Precisely AI, and then we're going to have Scrum Night shortly thereafter for the Tech Barbarians. I'm going to go and schedule that tonight, actually, in the Patreon. Next week, still have our kind of conversation, our software explorations, and the bug bite, but we'll see about the live streams. Don't know for sure yet. But that's everything. Do me a favor as we wrap it up. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know every time we go live and drop new content. As well, techcoachdrive.dev. Join us for all the stuff that we do. Our vibe coding shows, our Scrum Nights, all the exclusive content over there. Access to Resume Flow, access to Speak Precisely, access to the Tech Barbarians Coaching Portal. I'm just here to help you help yourself. I want to help you help yourself. So that's what we do over at techcoachdrive.dev. All right. But that is it, y'all. That is it for tonight. We're going to wrap up with the song that we created the other day. I want to know what good is. I want to know what good is in the age of AI. That Sam Altman tried to tell us, but he failed miserably. But maybe I can tell you. All right. Until life lessons. Bobby, great show. Educate. Thank you so much, Bobby. Appreciate it. See you tomorrow, right, Bobby? See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow night. Rod Brown, Jr., Life Lessons, everyone who tuned in. Thank you so much. Appreciate every last one of you. But until next time, friends, family, Techo Trough, we are out.
Flawless victory.
Take a little time to read this output. I better check between the lines before I blindly push to production. In my eye, there's been syntax and pain. I don't know if I can debug it again. Now this code base I must climb feels like the whole app's on my shoulders. Through the AI's prompt design, I need to scale before we're older. I won't accept what it just wrote without inspecting every line of code. I wanna know what good is. Experience will show me. I gotta judge what good is. The architecture knows it. Does it fit the system? Oh, I wanna know what good is. The dumbest question we debate is whether bots will take our places. But what kind of death does it elevate? The one who reads what it generates. Can't stop now, the prompt went so far, but we gotta meet the company's bar. Now this logic I must test, ensure the standards we've selected twice.